Okay, everybody, this is my spoiler review of the newest Netflix documentary, Girl in the Picture. This was directed by Sky Borgman, and this had me really intrigued to watch this because if you've watched my previous documentary reviews I've done for Netflix, I really loved Abducted in Plain Sight, which she also directed. So I had faith in how she kind of presents her documentaries and keeps you engaged the whole time and feels like it's very truthful and honest. And with this one, again, it's so hard to review documentaries because it could be whether you're just into what they're talking about or not, if it's engaging you, or if you're how much you already know about the story, how much you don't know, but that they're putting it in a clear, concise matter that feels honest, genuine. They're not kind of trying to trick you at all. So this one I thought was very, very depressing. I mean, I am still trying to shake out of a dark place my head is in. It's just like really dark and tragic, and it maybe gave me like the biggest gloomy feeling after, and that's the point of it, right? And I think that with this story, it wasn't maybe in the sense of a lot of true crime docs you see like this like twist left and right and big reveals. It's more of like you're kind of seeing where it's going, and it's shocking in a sense of what was happened to this girl Suzanne, and that she lived her whole life through this man of Floyd doing these things to her, but also still going to high school, still making friends at high school, appearing on the outside like it's just his normal life. That's what made this story so original and unique to me, and that's what really stuck with me. Is like, wow, like I cannot believe this happened. And it does the thing at the end too, where you start to kind of get reveals of certain people in her life, and you have questions about her mother and her father. And with her mother, you're just wondering, if she knew the guy who took her child, why, like they said, wasn't she really on that? Just saying you went to the police station one day is bizarre to say. Why isn't she doing that every day, like the other girl was saying, like going on the news, saying, this is the man, if you know what this man looks like, if you've seen a guy who looks like this, or this is what my daughter looks like even, like, how is that not more of an effort? Especially if she was out in public like that, you think there would have been an easier way to find her if the mother was just more outspoken, it seems like. And then with the father, it's a tougher call because he went to Vietnam, he got messed up from that, but it makes you just wonder about things where is it best to just at the same time leave your three children behind in any situation because they're still children, right? They're defenseless. They need your protection, and maybe it would have been better if another family member helped him take care of them, something. Who really knows? So it's really tough. It makes you feel a lot of things of frustration of what could have prevented this from happening to this poor girl, Suzanne, her whole life. And really what hit hard was that scary, scary story that her friend from high school told the father coming in with the maniacal laugh and the gun, and it was just a lot. Now, reviewing in the sense of a documentary, I think that it left a little bit of loose ends, or maybe I wouldn't say loose ends because the most important stuff was answered, but things that I would like more detail into, like who was Michael's parents, who was the parent of Megan, how is this happening? I saw someone made a good comment about if Floyd was so protective of Suzanne, where was this happening where she was having children with other men? I would like a little bit more investigation into that part of the story. They kind of skimmed over that, so I'd like to know what was going on there. Also, I will say I do think it was getting a little confusing following all of the different who's related to who, where are we, and it almost felt like I actually would have maybe preferred this type of story in a linear story than going all over the place from timelines. It didn't feel like them jumping from 80s to 90s was really making the course of it more interesting. It almost made it more confusing. So I think there was a lot of confusing editing happening here. So that kind of brings it down for a bit. And again, I do think it's tough because I want to be respectful of the story, and it was a really good story, but it wasn't like one that maybe needed to be even an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe this is just even a story you could tell in an hour doc as a show. So I would say I'm going to give this one an 8.1. It's just solid. I don't think it's one that I'd be like, you have to watch this documentary, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's just very bleak, and it's a story we need to hear because I think what you can take away from this too is, if you see signs of something with someone else or in your life, speak up, and that we have to protect each other, and that you can't also just trust strangers so easily, especially people you run to relationships with, and then trusting them with your kids. Like all those kind of lessons you got to take away from this, and really just always be on guard and protect your children, be extra cautious. And I think that it gives me hope in that when there's people who abandon people in life and let things happen in this that's just horrible, at least there's people like you see with the FBI agent or the author who are trying to just help people they don't even know. And that you also have the detectives that are on their computers nowadays that really solve a lot of these cases. So it gives me hope in humanity in that sense when we still also see that dark side of humanity that lets things like this go on with knowledge. So I'd really love to hear your guys' thoughts about everything that went on with this documentary. What'd you think of it, how it was made, but also what your thoughts are about the story, what you left you feeling, anything. I really like to hear that. We can get a kind of discussion going down below about all this. And I really appreciate you guys with your support. If you could become a member today, that'd be amazing. It would help me do this full time one day, or even just a tip. If you enjoy what I do here, would be great. And please follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for more of me. And I'll see you next time.